You might think of the Amish as being off the land heating water over a fire, or taking a freezing shower to toughen up a bit. The reality is even more interesting, though. The Amish have devised resourceful and creative ways to bring hot water to the homes, without being reliant on electric companies, propane delivery services, or anything else that puts them on the map with the world of modern infrastructure. Now, before we get into the details, it's important to note that there is no one Amish way. Each community decides for itself what technology is acceptable, determining what crosses the line into too much modernity. And who decides all that? The bishop of each Amish community. He's the one who sets the rules, ranging from transportation choices to whether specific fabrics can be used in their clothes. This means that each Amish community is going to have its guidelines, so some are stricter than others, and others are even more relaxed. Think for a moment about your hot water setup. You likely turn a knob, wait a few seconds, and then voila! Steaming hot water is ready for your shower or bath. Pretty convenient, right? But what happens when the power goes out, or a storm knocks down the power lines? Suddenly, that convenient setup leaves you with cold showers and a call to your power company, hoping they'll send someone out to fix it soon. The Amish have a completely different relationship with hot water. They don't depend on any systems they can't fix themselves. If their hot water heater breaks, they can simply step outside and gather some firewood or refill their kerosene and have things going again. No waiting for someone else to come and fix the problem. It's all about self-reliance all the time. So, how do they do this? Let's take a look at how different Amish communities manage hot water, from the most strict to the more liberal. First off, the Schwarzentrubber Amish. They are perhaps the most traditional of all. They hold on to a life of simplicity in a world that is becoming increasingly complex. As the rest of us are stuck to our phones, the Amish families are hard at work, doing things the old-fashioned way: no frills, no modern gadgets, just honest work and a deep sense of community. No high-tech showers or fancy plumbing in their homes. Many homes don't even have indoor plumbing, and just like grandma, chores are done by hand. Envision a family gathered around a wooden table working together on a specific task. It is just like an old-fashioned family gathering, but for a purpose. The trick behind hot water? Good old cast-iron stoves. Multitasking stoves will heat both meals and water. Some families even use large pots or kettles to heat water directly on the stove, making it a truly efficient system. In many Schwarzentrubber homes, gravity-fed pipes are used to carry hot water from the stove to the kitchen or bathroom. Who needs a plumber when you've got physics on your side? It's a hot water distribution system straight out of a science experiment. Only this one is far more practical and a lot less messy. Here's how it all works. The wood-fired stove sits in the kitchen, radiating warmth and providing a cozy atmosphere. Families start their day with the stove fired up, cooking breakfast while simultaneously heating water for washing up. You understand the requirement if you ever cooked on a wood stove. Too little wood and lukewarm water. Too much, and you're blasting yourself out of the kitchen. Families fill a large copper kettle on the stove for baths. That's their hot water supply. When it's bath time, they just scoop out the hot water, add a little cold to temper it, and voila! Instant relaxation after a hard day on the farm. The notion of a teenager today trying to wrap their mind around this process is both funny and telling. Imagine asking them to heat bath water over a fire. They probably think you were staging a medieval TikTok challenge. Yet for the Amish, this is just the way it is. They have learned to perfect the art of wood stoking, knowing how to time their baths according to how fast they can chop wood. It would make a great reality show. Teenagers in the 1800s, can they handle the heat? What is truly impressive about this setup is its efficiency. Typically, Schwarzentrubber homes are quite well insulated, making sure heat does not just dissipate into air. This seems to be a very bright energy management, maximizing everything available at their disposal for the creation of a useful as well as snug living space. And forget not the workout involves some chopping, keeping up the fire, and managing stove-like activities. But if it's rewarded with hot water at the end of it all, it is a fulfilling workout that feels well-earned. Every log split and every kettle filled demonstrates the resourcefulness of the Amish. Everything in these homes speaks to their values of hard work, family, and community. Hot water isn't a convenience. It's the fruit of their labor, the effort of their hands. Besides, these activities, chopping wood, gathering around the stove, conduct them in a harmonious way. In most families, children are scattered, distracted, and the Amish approach to everyday tasks produces a kind of togetherness. In contrast, the Old Order Amish, slightly less conservative than the Schwarzentroopers, have managed to combine practicality with remaining faithful to their core beliefs. The families often utilize gas or kerosene water heaters, but they are specifically off-grid. Each family has its own fuel tanks, meaning they can get hot water without having to be connected to any mainstream utility. It's a simple, self-sufficient setup that ensures the hot water is always available, even in case of a power outage. These kerosene heaters are reliable, off-grid systems that run on manual ignition. No electronics, just a spark to get the flame going. It's a straightforward, low-tech solution that's still as effective today as it was decades ago. And while you may not be able to run out and buy kerosene on a whim, the Amish are used to planning ahead, ensuring their tanks are full before winter sets in. Community also plays a role here, as Amish neighbors often help each other out, sharing resources and support. Lastly, the New Order Amish are the most progressive group, embracing certain modern technologies that align with their values of sustainability and independence. The New Order Amish have adapted solar power into their homes, using solar panels to heat water. These panels collect sunlight, boil water, and store that hot water in insulated tanks, such that hot water is available at all times. If it is a cloudy day, the Amish resort to backup systems, either kerosene or wood stoves, to make sure there is hot water when required. The really fascinating thing is that solar hot water systems can meet up to 80% of an Amish family's annual hot water needs, even in larger households with 8 to 10 kids. This is a fantastic way of blending sustainability with the value of self-reliance, and this model could be learned by many modern households. The Amish's reliance on solar energy aligns with their emphasis on community and cooperation. They often work together to install and maintain these systems, creating a sense of togetherness and shared responsibility. It's a powerful statement of how modern technology, when used responsibly, can complement their traditional lifestyle. Behind all these techniques, whether it is the use of wood stoves, kerosene heaters, or even solar panels, is the Amish's love for self-sufficiency. These systems are so selected that their daily life would not be dependent on external forces. In a world where everything is dependent on a single source, the Amish value the importance of having a backup plan. The Amish are a living example of how to thrive off the grid, using practical methods that ensure they remain independent and resilient. It's a lesson in preparedness and resourcefulness, one that modern society could benefit from. Their systems are designed to withstand challenges and maintain a steady flow of hot water, no matter what happens in the outside world. It's a life approach that emphasizes simplicity, sustainability, and community, all things that may sound old-fashioned, but are more important now than ever.